In the summer of 2005, China Arnold and Terrell Talley shared a home in Dayton, Ohio, along with their 4 children. 2 of the children were China's from a previous relationship. One was Terrell's, and the youngest was 28-day-old Paris Talley, whom they had together, or at least that's what Terrell had been led to believe. Rumours had begun to swirl around their social circle, insinuating that China had been unfaithful and that little Paris might not be Terrell's biological daughter. The whispers reached Terrell, and on August 30th, 2005, after having too much to drink and possibly under the influence of other substances, he confronted China about these unsettling rumours. The conversation quickly escalated into a full-blown, heated argument, the tension palpable and anger at fever pitch. Physical altercation ensued, fueled by intoxication and jealousy. After their heated confrontation, Terrell left for work. He was a drug dealer and operated from an abandoned building under the cover of darkness. When he returned home the following morning, he found Paris sleeping peacefully in her car seat. Exhausted, he fell into a deep sleep himself. When he woke up later that day, a horrifying discovery awaited him. As he reached out to hold Paris, he recoiled at the feel of her cold, stiff body. The baby girl was lifeless, with unexplained burn marks marring her tiny torso, limbs and face. In a state of panic and disbelief, Terrell and China hurriedly rushed Paris to the hospital. Despite their frantic efforts, it was too late. Paris was pronounced dead shortly upon arrival. The results from the forensic examination were puzzling. Burns covered Paris's torso, limbs and face, but strangely her back remained untouched. Detectives initially theorized that the infant might have been placed on a stove or inside an oven, but the pattern of the burns did not support this hypothesis. The possibility of the microwave being the source of these burns was not even considered at first. The investigators did not believe it could generate the kind of injuries found on Paris. Both detectives and medical examiners were at an impasse. They could not ascertain what could have led to these peculiar injuries. It was only after comprehensive research that they discovered a similar case from Virginia, in which a baby boy had tragically died due to being microwaved. In a chilling revelation, the autopsy report from that case matched the injuries Paris had sustained. Further examination confirmed their dreaded suspicion. Traces of the baby's DNA were detected inside the microwave. The cause of death had finally been identified. But this only led to another chilling question. Who could have committed such a horrifying act? After thorough investigations, forensic detectives were able to piece together the harrowing final moments of Paris's life. They concluded that her internal body temperature had escalated to an excruciating 109 degrees Fahrenheit. The infant must have been subjected to at least 2 agonizing minutes inside the microwave. The heartbreaking truth was that Paris had been cooked alive. In light of these findings, China Arnold was taken into custody. During the investigation, a significant piece of evidence emerged from an unexpected source. Arnold's cellmate testified that Arnold had confessed to her. Arnold reportedly admitted to placing her daughter in the microwave and turning it on out of fear. She was terrified that Terrell would abandon her if he found out he was not Paris's biological father. Despite the harrowing circumstances and evidence, the case against China Arnold proved to be far from straightforward. As Arnold's first trial got underway, an unexpected twist occurred. Terrell Talley made a startling claim to the Dayton Daily News, stating that his 5-year-old son from a previous relationship had confessed to him. Allegedly, the boy claimed that he had found Paris's lifeless body in the microwave after a neighbour's child had placed her inside it. This sudden revelation threw the court into disarray and resulted in the first trial being declared a mistrial. However, as investigators delved deeper, inconsistencies in the boy's account came to light. It turned out that Terrell's 5-year-old son wasn't even present at the housing complex at the time of Paris's death, making it impossible for him to have witnessed the incident. This suggested that Terrell had potentially manipulated his son into providing false testimony in a desperate bid to protect China. Armed with this critical piece of information, the prosecution moved forward with the case. Ultimately, in September 2009, China Arnold was convicted for the heinous crime she had committed. Yet the legal saga didn't end there. In 2010, the conviction was appealed, leading to yet another trial. Arnold's defense attorneys made a bold move. They attempted to argue that Terrell, not China, could have been the murderer. However, this theory was debunked as it was established that Terrell wasn't at home on the night Paris was murdered, making his involvement impossible. The investigation went further into understanding China Arnold's mental state. A comprehensive psychological evaluation revealed that China possessed an average IQ and didn't suffer from any mental conditions that might absolve her from responsibility. However, she was found to be grappling with drug and alcohol addiction, contributing factors that likely played a role in the tragic event. The prosecution presented a compelling argument. They highlighted that the method of murder chosen was even more premeditated than using a weapon such as a gun or knife. To execute this horrendous act, China had to place her infant daughter in the microwave, shut the door, adjust the timer to at least 2 minutes, and press the start button. During those agonizing 2 minutes, she had every opportunity to halt the process and spare her child's life, but tragically she didn't. As a result of her heinous actions, in May 2011, China was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In a poignant twist to this horrific tale, DNA tests later confirmed that Terrell Talley was, in fact, the biological father of Paris. It remains unclear whether China was aware of this truth or not. Given the possibility of her infidelity, she might have genuinely been uncertain about the identity of Paris's father. If she had known the truth, perhaps this entire heartbreaking ordeal could have been avoided.